Hello friends, again here I are present for giving you some interesting information about some immunological terms. Now our today's topic it is the primary lymphoid organ. Now before starting with the primary lymphoid organ, it is important to understand some terms which are related with this primary lymphoid organ. The first term which is related with this it is the lymphatic system. What is the lymphatic system? Now, within our body, the two types of the circulatory system these are present. One it is the lymphoid system, and another it is our blood circulatory system. Now, our circulatory system it is closed type of system, but this lymphoid system it is not a closed circulatory system like that of the blood circulatory system. Specifically, the major function of this lymphatic system or the lymphoid system it is to carry or to take the waste material from the cells, and along with that also trap the antigens or the foreign particles which are present within the different organs of our body and transport them into the lymphoid organs. Majorly, in other words, simply we can explain that this lymphatic system these are responsible for the development of the immune responses and remove the foreign particles from our body. It is nothing but the organization of the some of the organ systems which are made up of the large network of the lymphatic vessels which are carry these antigens from the different organs of our body, and these are transported within the lymphoid organs. Now specifically within these lymphoid organs these are get differentiated in between the two types of the organs. That is, first one it is the primary lymphoid organs, and the second one these are the secondary lymphoid organs. So today we are specifically discussing about the structure and function of these primary lymphoid organs. Now majorly these lymphatic vessels which are the major component of these lymphatic systems, these are responsible for the flow of lymph within the lymphoid system. Now within that lymph there is the trapping of the antigens, and majorly these are transported to the lymph nodes, regional lymph nodes which are the secondary lymphoid organ. And the liquid portion of the blood we know that it is called as the plasma, which are constantly leak out from the capillaries to deliver the oxygen and the nutrients to the cells of the surrounding tissue. Means during the blood circulatory system some part of the blood which is called as the plasma it is leak out from the capillaries and delivers oxygen and the nutrients to the cells. Once the in the tissue this plasma it is called as an interstitial fluid. While most of the tissue fluid re-enters the capillaries, there is the re-entry of this fluid into the capillaries and return directly to the bloodstream, and some fluid it enters into the lymph vessels which is called as the lymph. Now this lymph these are flows through the regional lymph nodes where these are get filtered. Means there is the filtration of this lymph. It is get filtered through the lymph nodes, and within that lymph nodes there is the presence of our immune cells, that is the lymphocytes, macrophage cells. These different types of the immune cells these are present within this secondary lymphoid organ, that is the lymph nodes, and where there is the activation of these immune cells, and these are responsible for removing the foreign particles which are present within that lymph. Now the lymphatic system it is acts as a drainage system. It is acts as a drainage system which is responsible for removing the cellular debris and microbes from the tissues to the lymph nodes. Means here these are responsible for filtering our body organs to free our body organs from the foreign particles, and also responsible for removing the cell debris which are saturated within the tissues. So it is the main function of the lymphatic system. Now we are switch over to the primary lymphoid organs. Now majorly as there is the dividation of these lymphoid organs which are the part of the lymphatic system into the primary and the secondary lymphoid organs. Now the basis for the dividation of this primary and secondary lymphoid organ it is preferentially within the primary lymphoid organs there is the starting of the process for the development of immune cells. Means the process for generating the immune cells it is start within the primary lymphoid organs. Means complete of the primary development of these immune cells it is carried out within the primary lymphoid organ, and then these are get transported to the secondary lymphoid organ where these are get encountered with the antigens. There is the introduction of these immune cells with the antigens, and then there is the activation and differentiation of these lymphoid cells. For that purpose, this primary, at the primary level, this development it is carried out within this lymphoid organ. Due to that, these are called as the primary lymphoid organs. And the organs where there is the actual site for the working of these immune cells, it is called as the secondary lymphoid organs. Now within our body there are the two types of the primary lymphoid organs. The first one it is the thymus, and the second one it is the bone marrow. Now these are also due to the developing cells within these organs. Preferentially within the thymus, which is the primary lymphoid organ, within that there is the development of the T lymphocytic cells, which are responsible for giving the cell mediated immune response. And within the bone marrow there is the development of the B cells. With these B cells, these are responsible for giving the humoral immune response, or these are the antibody forming cells. Now, within this primary lymphoid organ, within the thymus and within the bone marrow, the early development and maturation of these T and B lymphocytes, these are carried out. Now, in these lymphoid organs, there is the presence of the immature lymphocytes, which are differentiated into the mature ones, and majorly these are also get educated within these primary lymphoid organs to how to fight with the antigens, or how there is the removal of the antigens whenever these are get introduces with the antigens within the secondary lymphoid organ. This primary education it is also given to these developing cells within the primary lymphoid organs, and then after their maturation these are get transported towards the secondary lymphoid organ. Now the first type of the primary lymphoid organ it is the thymus. Now this thymus it is an bilobed organ which is located near the heart and beneath the breastbone. And whenever there is the development of this thymus, majorly at the time of birth, it is having the larger size or highest weight. Whenever the size or the weight of the thymus it become the 40 gram, thereafter majorly up to the teenager age, after that there is the reduction within the size of this thymus. Means whenever it is the approximate weight of the thymus it is about a 40 gram, after that there is no increase within the weight of the thymus, or there is no another enlargement of the thymus, because after that there is the regression of the size of the thymus. Means along with the age, as your age it is passes, there is the reduction within the size of the thymus. It is due to the consequence of the thymic involution. Means the capability of the thymus to develop this T lymphocytic, this capacity it is get reduces. Due to that there is the reduction within the size of the thymus along with the age. We know that whenever our age it is increasing, along with that our immune responses or our immune system, there is also regression within the immune system. The reason behind that it is our immune organs, these are not work properly, and due to that it is resulted into the lower type of the immune response within the older persons. Now majorly the development of the thymus it starts about the 8th week of the gestation. From the 8th week of gestation the process for the development of the thymus it is get started, and this as we are discussed earlier, this thymus it is an bilobed organ. The each lobe of the thymus it is surrounded by capsule. Means it is an capsulated organ. It is an capsulated organ, and it is divided into the lobules and separated by the strands of the connective tissue. Now these strands of the connective tissue through which there is the division of these lobes into the lobules, these strands these are called as the trabeculae. Now the thymus it is get means structurally whenever we are discussing about the thymus, this thymus it is get divided into the two major parts. That is the outer one it is called as the cortex, which is densely filled with the T lymphocytes, and the inner medulla these are sparsely populated with the lymphocyte population. Means the large population of T cells these are present within the thymus. Whether there is the presence of the cortical epithelial cells which are responsible for the nourishment of these cells, developing T cells. Now the developing T cells it is called as an thymocytes. Thymocytes these are nothing but the developing T cells. Now the different types of the growth factors these are get secreted for the proper development of these T lymphocytic cells within the thymus. The one example of that, it is the interleukin 7, which is secreted by the cortical cells, and it is responsible for development of these T lymphocytes. Now, as the cortex, it is majorly made up of the thymocytes and the epithelial cells. The medulla of the thymus, it contains the Hassel's corpuscles, which are supposed to be the remnants of the degenerating epithelial cells. Means these are nothing but the residues of the degenerating epithelial cells, which are get degenerated. The epithelial cells which are get degenerated or which are get lost, their residues, these are present within the medulla in the form of Hassel's corpuscles. Now, both the cortex and the medulla, these are crisscrossed by the three-dimensional stromal cell network of epithelial cell, dendritic cells and macrophage cells. Means the crisscross network of the cells which is present in both in cortex and the medulla. These are made up of the three types of the cells, that is majorly the epithelial cells, dendritic cells and the macrophage cells. Now, in the cortex, the developing T cell, that is the thymocytes, these are also surrounded by the long epithelial cells which are responsible for nourishment of the thymocytes. These are called as the nurse cells. These are called as the nurse cells. Majorly, these are the larger cells, and single nurse cell, it can carry up to the 50 thymocytes. Means a single nurse cell, it is responsible for nourishing the 50 thymocytes. Now, the other type of the cells which are majorly present within the cortex, these are the macrophage and dendritic cells. These macrophage and dendritic cells, these are responsible for the thymic education of T cells. It means these are educating the T lymphocyte, developing T lymphocytes, how to interacting with the antigens, how there is the interaction of this antigen, how to identify the foreign particles. As these macrophage and dendritic cells, these are acts as an antigen presenting cells. Means these are responsible for presenting the antigens towards the T lymphocytes. Now, majorly the three types of the T cell populations, these are get developed within the thymus. The first one, it is the T helper cells. Majorly on the T helper cells, the cell surface markers, these are the CD4 marker. Due to that, it is called as the T helper cells. Means those of the T cells with the CD4 marker, these are called as the T helper cells. Now, the another type which are having the CD8 marker, these are called as the T cytotoxic cells or TC cells. And the another, it is the T regulatory cells. These T regulatory cells, these are responsible for maintaining the concentration of both of these T cells. Means whenever there is need, then and then only there is the synthesis of these T helper cells or the T cytotoxic cells. These are, it is the function of the T regulatory cells. Now, majorly within that, the T helper cells which are carrying the CD4 markers, these are identified those antigens which are represented by the MS or which are associated with the MSC class first molecules, and the T cytotoxic cells which are having the CD8 marker, these are responsible for identifying those antigens which are represented along with the MSC class first molecules. Now we are switch over to the structure of the thymus. Here there is the representation of the structure of the thymus. Here in the figure, the trabeculae, these are shown, which are responsible for dividing this bilobed structure of the thymus into the lobules. These are the strands of the connective tissue, these trabeculae. Then the outer one, it is the capsule. Within the capsule, the region which is present, it is called as the outer one, it is the cortex. And within that, again, there is the presence of the medulla. Now, these larger cells which are surrounding the thymocytes, these are called as the nurse cells which are nourishing the thymocytes, or these are responsible for providing the growth factors which are essential for the development of these T cells. Now, majorly this process of the hematopoiesis start within the bone marrow, and within that the promonocytes, that is the precursor cell for the development of the thymocytes, these are get transported within the thymus. Means firstly this process for the synthesis of the T lymphocyte, it is start within the bone marrow, and then the precursor cell for the T lymphocytes, these are transported within the thymus, and then there is the proper development of these T lymphocytic cells. Again, there is the dendritic cell, macrophage cells, both are acts as and the antigen representing cells. The reason behind that, as why these are acts as an antigen presenting cell. It is both of these are representing the MHC class first and class second molecules on their surfaces, and due to that this can be acts as an antigen presenting cell and they can represent the antigen towards the T lymphocytes. Now the functions of the thymus. Now the main function of the thymus, which is an most important primary lymphoid organ, it is these are responsible for giving the cell mediated immune response, which are given in the form of the T lymphocytic cells. Again, it is the site for the development of T cells. As we have discussed earlier, majorly the primary development of the T lymphocytes, it is completely carried out within the thymus. Now we can observe this functionality of the thymus within the immune responses or the our immune system. Whenever there is the study on that, one genetic disorder which is related, it is called as the DiGeorge syndrome. Within this DiGeorge syndrome, which is uh, observed due to the some disorders within the chromosome 22, or some part it is get lost from the chromosome 22, then these such type of the persons, these are unable to develop the thymus. There is complete absence of the thymus. There is no development of the thymus within these peoples. And due to the absence of the thymus, majorly there is the complete absence of the circulating T lymphocytic cells. As there is the absence of thymus, the thymus it is the only site for the development of the T lymphocyte. And due to the absence of the due to the absence of thymus, there is no development of the T lymphocyte. Due to that, these such type of the persons, these are not showing the any cell mediated immune response within which there is the formation of the T lymphocytes, means the T cells, these are completely absent within these persons, means some of the immunodeficiency problems these are associated with these persons. It is the main function of the thymus, how this thymus it is participated within the immune responses or to fight with the different types of the antigen. The T cytotoxic cells, which is one of the population of these, it is responsible for giving the responses against the viruses. And the T helper cells, these are responsible for the fight with the other type of the foreign particles. It includes the bacteria or fungal or any type of the toxins. With this, there is the removal of these substances. For that, there is the activity of this T helper cells. Now the second primary lymphoid organ, it is the bone marrow. Again, bone marrow, it is the majorly important one, because the process of the hematopoiesis, that is, it is the initial step for the development of immune cell. It is start within the bone marrow, and throughout our life, this process of the hematopoiesis, it is carried out within the bone marrow. So it is most important primary lymphoid organ responsible for giving the immune cells. Now this bone marrow, it is the soft, highly vascular and flexible connective tissue which is present within the bone cavities. It is serves as the primary site for the development of the new blood cells, that is the hematopoiesis. Now within the adult humans, the bone marrow is primarily located in the ribs, vertebrae, sternum and the bones of the pelvis. These are the sites where these bone marrow these are present, and whether there is the process of the hematopoiesis. Now this bone marrow, it is the primary source of the pluripotent stem cells. As within the bone marrow there is the process of hematopoiesis, no doubt it is responsible for giving the pluripotent cell, that is the hematopoietic stem cells, and these are responsible for developing the different types of the immune cells. As a part of the lymphatic system, it is the major organ for the B cell maturation. No doubt it is the site for the development and maturation of the B lymphocytic cell, responsible for giving the humoral immune response or the antibody forming cells. These are get mature and develop within the bone marrow, which are the precursor cell for the thymic lymphocytes. Now there are the two categories of this bone marrow. The one, it is the red marrow, and another it is called as the yellow marrow. The most of the bone marrow during the birth to the early adolescence, that is early teenager age, it is red marrow. It is red marrow, while the red marrow it is replaced with the yellow marrow along with the increase in the age. As it is get converted from red marrow to the yellow marrow, it means its capacity to develop the red blood cells or this capacity of the hematopoiesis, it is get lower down. Now here it is the structure of the bone marrow, which is a spongy bone. Here the red marrow it is shown. Again, along with the increase in the age, it may be get converted into the yellow marrow. Now in the adults, the red marrow it is confined mostly to the skeletal system that serves to produce the blood cells and help to remove the old cells from the circulation. Majorly, we know that for the blood cells, the lifespan it is up to the 120 days. After 120 days, these older cells, these are get died through the specific process called as the apoptosis. That is the programmed cell death. Whenever the cells these are not properly working, these are get died through the programmed cell death, which is called as the apoptosis. And again there is the formation of the new blood cells. So continuously these bone marrow responsible for providing the continuous supply of the red blood cells, and there is the removal of the dead cells from the circulation. This activity is done by the macrophage cells. These are responsible for phagocytating these dead cells and remove these dead cells from the circulation. Now the yellow marrow it is found in the spongy bones and in the shaft of long bones. It is a non-vascular and consists primarily of the fat cells. These are made up of the fat cells. Instead of the hematopoietic stem cell, here there is the presence of the fat cells, and it is composed of hematopoietic tissue that has become inactive. No doubt there is the presence of the hematopoietic tissue, but it is inactive, and due to that it get converted into from red marrow to the yellow marrow due to the absence of process of hematopoiesis. Now the main functions of the bone marrow. Preferentially, whenever we are discussing about the functions of the bone marrow, the major function of the bone marrow it is responsible for giving the site for the hematopoiesis. Means throughout the life, this hematopoiesis process it is carried out within the bone marrow, and it is the provider of the immune cells. These are responsible for providing the immune cells. As the major process of the hematopoiesis, that is the process of formation of the immune cells, that is the hematopoiesis, it is carried out within the bone marrow. It is responsible for continuous supply of the immune cells. And also the another major function it is acts as a site for development of B cells. Means again for the maturation and development of the B lymphocytic cells, which are nothing but the antibody forming cells. These antibody forming cells, these are primarily get matured and developed within the bone marrow. So it is the whole information about the primary lymphoid organ. The major primary lymphoid organ, these are the thymus and bone marrow, and both are plays an important role within the immune system. That is the thymus responsible for giving the cells for the development of the cell mediated immune response, and the bone marrow these are responsible for the development of the antibody forming cells, that is the B cells. So both are most important, and majorly the primary development of these immune cells these are carried out within this primary lymphoid organ, and then after these are get transported within the secondary lymphoid organ for their action. That is these are get activated and differentiated within the secondary lymphoid organ. So it is the whole information about the primary lymphoid organ. If you like this video, please subscribe my channel to get the more information about the incoming videos. In the next video, we are discussing about the secondary lymphoid organ. Thank you.